Alright, folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh. This is part 19 of our Let's Play of the Letter. And, well, there's just really no other way to say it. Zach is dead. I kind of mentioned it when we made the choice last episode. I do want to, I'm just like the tiniest bit ticked off. Only because Zach's whole thing, seemingly, for his whole chapter leading up to that ending point was like, I gotta stop running away. And then we had a moment where it was kind of like, hey, are you going to, like, deal with the thing? Or are you going to kind of ignore it and run away from it? We chose to deal with it. We got arrested. And then we got killed by the girl from the ring. But apparently doing so has unlocked a memory fragment. So apparently we're going to get some origin story here of the ring girl in the haunted mansion. So let's do it. What? Okay, all right. So that was more of just right. That was really just kind of a picture. And now we're here with Marianne, left in a dumpster as a baby. Jesus, Mary. She was found by a peddler and spent most of her childhood roaming the countryside in a beat-up van. Her father taught her how to read, write, and pray. Though an unconventional life, it was all she knew. Child welfare and protection eventually caught on and required that she have a proper education. She was provided a scholarship at St. Samthon School for Young Ladies and was bullied for being a charity kid. Wonderful. Marianne only had one friend and was mostly focused on her studies, intent on graduating, returning to her father. Ashamed that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's soon after. Jesus, Marianne. Her work as an architect in Ireland lasted until the Irish economic crisis. She moved to England and after some time, Luxbourne in search of better career opportunities. Well, Jesus. I did not know Marianne had it so tough, but she likes video games and board games and karaoke and cats. We're gonna get along. Obscure pop culture items. We're gonna get along just fine, Marianne. Alright, well... I was really expecting that to be like a scene, but I guess not. So let's save over this now. Because I do want to have stuff at the beginning of the chapters here. And this is, I don't know what kind of desktop background we got going on here. Like a full-on anime portrait of two girls. Alright. I mean, the view is nice. And the bed is nice, I'll give her that. 7:15 p.m. The numbers are so little on the top of my screen, and they glare at me with such intensity that I can just hear their accusations. I'm late for a night out with the girls, yes, but I have a perfectly good excuse, jeez. Considering I didn't follow typical office hours, they really can't expect me to be able to just go as I please at 5:30 on the dot. The client is, first and foremost, my priority. I have to sit tight when my personal assistant, Chris, tells me we have a big one coming up, and that I shouldn't miss this one. He knows a lot more on the who's who and the what's what when it comes to these socialites, and I trust that judgment call. I really don't have time for rich people, their drama, and their politics. Here, Marianne. These sort who were born with silver spoons in their mouths, who were used to wagging their silver tongues about. I let him handle the negotiating with them for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he told me I'd receive a message about it an hour ago.
Now, if only he has the full shilling when it comes to the time.
Come on, I have a social life too, you know. To an extent. Sort of. It's good to know that Marianne is very much not on team rich couple. Pressing my head against the table, I try to stave off an oncoming headache when a notification for a new email pops up. All I'm expecting is a, hey, this looks like a good project I found, go send them a design, or something like that, really. That's how it often goes. Even with these rich, jammy clients who's heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat. Which is all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them my portfolio, my drafts for their projects, my rates, and hope for the best. This is a big client, Marianne. I'll babysit Baruthio for you. Just please take this one project. I promise this is huge in Luxbourne. This email, any attachments are intended solely for use in the address. Okay, alright. Mr. Parker, this is a formal request to secure the services of Marianne McCulloch, hereinafter called the designer, as authorized by Hannah Wright, hereinafter called the client, for interior design work at Ermengarde Mansion, Luxbourne, LX18 ORF, United Kingdom. The client hopes to have the designer there on the 21st of October, Friday, with the time pending. But as I open the mail and see that I've been requested by the client specifically, well, I certainly didn't expect that. It's pretty straightforward, too. Anyone else would probably be excited. They'd be working with the Hannah Wright. But I know that she is terrible, even having not met her. She's just one of those rich socialites that everybody loves to talk about, no matter how hard I try to tune such nonsense out. It would have been enough for me to reply an affirmative to Chris and leave, but he's never pleaded for me to take a project before. We've worked with big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, even a few politicians. My PA had been indifferent about those. So the question bounced about my skull before I spy one of the email attachments. A newspaper clipping from the Luxbourne Daily's business news section, boasting the headline, Wright Enterprise donates 2.5 million euros to refugee. It certainly caused quite a stir back then. Apparently, they had invited businessmen and socialites everywhere in the guise of it being some big business announcement.
2.5 mil and an expensive-looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
Yeah, actually, I kind of want to read some of this here. So, grand opening of the new Wright Hotel. Local billionaire couple, Luke and Hannah, announced a donation of 2.5 million to help refugees keep their services open. Unexpected, but certainly welcome. This follows only 1 month after the couple's previous donation of the same amount to Save the Children UK. One of the largest donations, this amount will help keep the safe house in Luxbourne open for several years. With this money, Refugee can keep helping women, children, victims of domestic violence. There are rumors as well of the charity talking with the couple and looking into building a local center equivalent to their Gaia and Athena locations. These rumors have come to us due to one of the Enterprise's employees mentioning a Project EOS. Okay. So, I mean, knowing Hannah, I feel like this would be, like, relatively genuine? But, I'm not sure. They're gonna do a lot of good and help a community of people with all those pounds. I, of all people, shouldn't criticize such acts, whether they were for show or not. I mean, that's basically exactly what I'm saying. At the very least, I'll know they'll be able to pay my rates. With the headline out of the way, however, I find myself staring at the picture that came along with the clipping. Because, wow. Here I am, expecting a sour old woman in a blazer and skirt, but the woman that was blasted on the front page looked like she belonged on the front page of the entertainment section, or even, if I'm to be crass, as the pinup for a glamour. Marianne Horny? Okay, I'll be real here. A men's magazine. She sure knows how to rock that dress. Wait, her hair, her eyes, her lips. She can't be her. And at the same time, she is her, only several years older. She looks just like... No, come on, Mac. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. Marianne, what did you do? Alright, well, it's journal time. What kind of picture we got here, and where are we? Okay, we're pretty early on, 18. Okay, so this is the day after Hannah finds out about the mansion from Lee. Makes sense. With a shake of my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when it buzzes, nearly falling off my chair in the process. Who else would be on the other line but the very people waiting for me?
Piss. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet I still don't move from my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I can only stare until I can will myself to reply that yes, I'm accepting the assignment. It takes even more time for me to just close the image, shut down the computer, and leave. Jesus, Marianne. You are quite attracted here. Even then, it has already burned its image into my head, no matter how much I wish it would just disappear. It makes me eager for the alcohol and the company. It makes me eager for anything that can help me forget. It's a good thing that the nearest pub is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. Alright, the Crawl Bar. The Galway Shawl, as it's called by those who frequent the place, is the only decent Irish pub in this country. You can pretty pretty much tell that someone is new if they call it by the official name, the Crawl Bar. Oh no. I'm a noob. My home away from home ever since I moved to Luxborn. Well, that is when I'm not cooped up in my condo working anyway. It has good alcohol, good company, and thank God in St. Cecilia, good music. Crowd favorites like the Bothy Noise, the High Wesleyan Men, and Second Fusion Orchestra are often played. I obviously know all three of those. Not to mention the singing. I love singing. Alright, Marianne! Anyone could just break out into a drinking song, and the others in the pub were just wonderful that they just start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated is the best of ways to go about it. Hey, it's a win-win as long as I don't puke in the middle of the chorus, and as long as I can get home in one piece at the end of the day. And tonight is karaoke night. What better time than to try and sing all my worries away? That's what my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers who I am.
Pretty good voice.
And in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave.
I mean, it's kind of weird that we have this still, just background music going at the time that she's singing, but drinking only reminds me of home, and the thought of home makes me think of her.
But in the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
I wonder if she had to just sing this totally a cappella. It's really good if it's just a cappella. It makes me nauseous. It sickens me that the smallest reminder of her can cause me such grief.
I'll fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
I got my hand up in the air, just finger wagging over here. Ugh. Of course, that might just be the booze. Any other day I would have scolded myself for drinking so much. Who is she talking about? Is this still the girl that quote-unquote reminds her of Hannah?
I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
God, this is really good. But I already have a client. We'll be having our first little meet and greet in a few days.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you.
You do kind of lose your entire accent as you're singing here, Marianne.
'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
I want to at least enjoy this night, get over the hangover tomorrow, and return to being a prim and proper professional after.
That song was for Cam, our lucky bride-to-be. So give her a hand, Galway Shaw.
Woo! Yeah! Considering the state I'm in, one can excuse my smug grin as cheers and applause rise among the pub's patrons. I mean, listen, you don't need to be, intoxicated to accept that you're a good singer. Because possibly off-key public singing aside, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, and that's as good as reason as any to belt out in front of these strangers. With good drinks and good friends, there's nowhere else I'd rather be tonight. And I forget for a short while.
And that song was brought to you by Marianne McCullough, everyone! A round of applause!
Woo!
That was so good. You rock, Marianne. Oh, please stop. You're just saying that.
You know neither of us can hold a tune, Marianne. A toast to our shameless drunk singer. May your drinks forever flow and your notes be ever lovely.
Hell yeah.
If anyone deserves a toast tonight, that's Cam. Finally sealed the deal after 3 years, eh?
Eh?
Read 'em and wait, bitches.
Camilla's diamond engagement ring gleams as she holds it up for all the world to see. She has reasons to be proud. 3 years of living together, and her boyfriend finally asked her the big question. Obviously, she said yes.
Don't get too attached to that ring or the one after, sweetie. I was wearing a wedding ring not so long ago, and look at where I am.
Wow, Arna.
But enough of me being a downer. Cheers to a happy engagement!
Listen, marriage is ephemeral and all relationships fall apart eventually, but hey, good for you. Of course, if something like Harna's divorce were to happen, I'd be there for Cam. Just as Cam has been there for me, acting more than just my yoga instructor. I can't be happier for my friend right now.
Cheers!
Cheers! Well, we both will be there for Cam, won't we? Harna and I? Harna, it's been a real bad year for her since her divorce. She's such a nice person, even loaning me money to open a studio. She didn't deserve what her husband had pulled. I'm happy she's smiling again and pigging out like she used to. I think we've all missed our Japanese firecracker. We met in yoga class, something I joined to keep myself in shape, and, well, honestly, so that I could make friends when I had moved to Luxborn. But clearly it worked out. Yeah, clearly it worked like a charm. And it definitely didn't have anything to do with the fact that I brought along my lucky D20 die with me on the first day. No, sir. Marianne, are you a secret nerd? Oh, I love it. I love that you're a secret nerd. I love these girls so much.
What about you, Marianne? You're 30 years old and you still haven't got yourself a man.
The clock's ticking, Marianne.
And you guys know I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time for that.
Oh, come on. That's a lame excuse and you know it. You need a man who'll take care of you and you need it now.
Rude.
Maybe some hunk who'll be your house hubby while you rake in the dough.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right?
Oh, that's an interesting little wordplay, perhaps, there.
Hey, look at me. I'm Marion McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma, but I can't get myself a date.
I mean, one, that was a pretty good impression. And it's also a pretty good burn. I mentioned druids and demons. I mentioned druids and demons once. Once! They don't even know the rules or understand what the numbers mean. I mean, she seemed to have a decent understanding. And I certainly am not some sort of holy person. I'm a far cry from a miracle worker, and I barely have the willpower to fight off demons. Especially my own.
Actually, maybe she isn't looking for a Mr. Right, but a Mrs. Right. Oh, my Marianne, we still love you even if you're in the closet.
That would explain some things.
What would it explain, Cam? You tell me what that would
Oh,
explain.
no, you don't have a ring anymore. Maybe you two can be together and I don't have to worry about my best girls being alone.
I mean,
What
hey.
are you on about? There's nothing to explain.
But the more I deny, the louder they tease until the other people in the pub start to watch. Doesn't help at all when Harna drapes her arm over my shoulders and leans in.
Will I be all yours then? Will you be making me feel like a woman?
I know that they're just kidding around, but this doesn't make me comfortable in the slightest. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But then, Marianne, you gotta put your foot down and say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. So when Camelin notices my silence and Harney sees the expression on my face, they stop. Alright, good friends. And when the awkward air settles over us, the rest of the pub goes back to whatever they were doing before the whole thing ever happened. They probably won't even remember it when they wake up with massive hangovers anyway.
Sorry.
Me too.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
I raise my glass. They smile. We drink. There's no need to say more. We're all definitely far too drunk tonight. Eventually, the fun times end. It's a weekday after all. And with Harna being a nurse, she still has to get ready for her next shift. Cam also has a loving fiancé waiting for her at home and really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven when she took off early. Really, I understand. I was the one who insisted, who was determined to get pissed drunk anyway. Moving to the bar, I sit. Alone at last. Alone with a total dick? No! With a stranger. I haven't seen him here before. Obviously not a regular. Hasn't said a word and just sits there, savoring his drink. With his whiskey served neat in one hand and lighter in the other. Doesn't seem like he's noticed me yet. Maybe I should go before he does look my way. 'Cause he was pretty, and he was blonde, and those two things plus alcohol never did me any good. A thought too late. Judging by the way his flushed face and the dazed look in his eyes, he's as pissed drunk as I am. Oh, I don't like this. But whereas I feel like keeling over, he looks like he's ready to take the catwalk by storm. Really, he just has the air of one of those men who think they own the world. Well, you've got a good read of the situation.
Hello there, sir.
Oh, God!
Please don't stand up on my account. I already like what I see.
Oh, I like that for her the name is just Whiskey right now.
Fancy a drink? It'll be on me.
Ugh. Then again, I might be pleasantly surprised if he proves me
Want
wrong.
some between the sheets? Sex on the beach? I'm talking cocktails, of course.
Of course. You don't need to tell me, Whiskey. Fat chance. But it doesn't matter, we both know how to play this game. And there are two different ways for the night to end. One thing or another is going to happen. The question is, what do I want to
Oh
do?
no, that's fine. I'd rather order some blue balls or some AMF if you don't mind.
He looks like he's about to say some witty retort, but stops himself and downs the rest of his whiskey. I order a mint julep, he gets another whiskey, and we start the customary small talk. Of course, the saying, ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies, goes without saying. We ask nothing about each other, offering up falsehoods to establish a strenuous, fake connection between two strangers at a pub, if only to pass the time. Whiskey, as I've come to call him, is supposedly 21 years old, single, takes care of his sick mother, and is a manager of some sort. Manager of what? I didn't care to listen to the details. Meanwhile, Mint, as he's come to call me, is 29, and I'm... what did I say it was again? Oh, yes. I told him that I was a professional chocolate taster, because fuck it. If I'm going to lie about what my job is, might as well make it fun. It's a pretty decent job between two pretty drunk strangers. This is... Marianne, we are not doing... I'm just... As long as I'm in control of this situation, this is not happening. Maybe it's just me, but we might as fucking well expend the tiniest amount of effort in pretending there's something meaningful in this meeting. Would have been nice, too, if it was just left at that. But during a lull in the conversation, he brings it up.
You know, I've never been with a woman taller than me.
Alright, now kick him in the balls. And to think he might have been different for the... What made you think that?
Never have and never will. Whiskey? Can we go back to the history of chocolates? Did you know that chocolate candy was introduced in 19th century England as a healthier alternative to alcohol?
St. Lucy was the most beautiful woman of her time. She had men come from the four corners of the world just to see the pure light of her exquisite green eyes. If she were so lucky, anyway.
No, enough of the history lesson.
I want sex!
Come on, Mint. You know and I know what you came here for.
Though not every suitor was gallant, and she was no fool. She had known that sooner or later she wouldn't be able to defend her chastity.
Come on. There must be something that gets you going.
I really hate these line readings. Oh my god. Like, I mean, it's what he needs to do. It's good. It's just, I hate it. So she had taken out a knife and gouged out her own eyes.
There is something, but I don't think you can handle it.
Impressed with her devotion, God restored her eyes and made them more beautiful than before. He has a peculiar sense of humor, hasn't he? Because that only meant suitors kept going after Lucy, and she kept her eyes in a chalice to scare them away.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever it is.
St. Lucy, help me. Help me turn away from sin. Help me with my own blindness.
My place isn't too far from here. I won't take care of you if it ends up being too much for you.
God, Marianne, do not start it off this way.
And no one will be able to hear you if you try to scream. You sure you want to go down that road, pretty boy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
No! No! Why did I not get a choice? No. Ugh. Oh, Marianne, you started off pretty strong with me, and now, I don't know. This does explain why they seem to have some weird history, though, in earlier stuff. Best thing about having my condo so close to the pub is the ease of access. As long as I can still stand and walk, I can make it home. Maybe I need help from a kind neighbor or two to help me with the last leg if I've really gone overboard on the alcohol. But I always made it home. Sometimes with company. Of course, that always comes with complications, especially with the real clingy ones. But it isn't anything a good tip about stalkers to the building security can't fix. I'm always nervous, though, even if this isn't the first time I've done this. And the first few minutes when we enter my room are the first few agonizing minutes where I try not to panic. Okay, Max, so far, so good. Don't let him smell your fear under all that liquid courage. He'll leave sooner or later, and I'll never have to see him again. Ooh, just like every other man before him. Oh, you're gonna soon learn the consequences of this dangerous game, Marianne. I'd like to say to myself that the men I brought to my place were more scared than I was. It's like a wild animal. Yet there is no fear when I look into Whiskey's eyes, only delight. When he starts touching me, I don't even hesitate when I push him against the door. Roughness is to be expected, and as long as he sticks to the script, everything will go smoothly. We'll have our little tumble in the sheets, he'll leave, we'll forget about it. If somebody asked what I really wanted, I would have told him that I wanted a bed of roses, chocolates, and music, maybe in an Irish castle. But all I really want is her, and that's never going to be a reality. That was my fault, of course, because I was afraid, because I was a coward. They would never hold a candle up to her. She was the light of my life, and I had let her go. I can't even be bothered at the thought of her. Just the single thought of her makes my resolve to see this affair through waver.
Wait.
What is it now?
Yes, what is it now? What's it gonna be, Marianne? To sex or not to sex? I mean, I hate that we've gone this far already, but I want to stop it while we can. This is wrong.
We're both drunk.
Luke likes that. Ugh, not sure that I like that.
And
Although, maybe it means there's something good deep down, and no, there's not.
This is wrong. Don't you think it's a bit fucked up that we're about to have sex and we're just calling each other by the drinks that we had? How messed up are we?
Doll, shut up with the ethics and morality talk. It is seriously putting me out of the mood.
I think that's kind of the goal. Whiskey.
If you want to leave now, Whiskey, I understand. I mean, with how smashed you are, it'd probably be best for you to sleep the night unless you want to be mugged. But I won't stop you. And this isn't going to happen.
Bloody hell.
Cockblock, what up? Of course he's annoyed at me for putting off our night of sexual congress. But no means no. And beyond spewing a few profanities under his breath, he surprisingly simmers down soon enough. I was worried for a moment that he might try to force something. Instead, he makes a show of fixing his suit, smoothing down his hair, before making himself comfortable in the nearest seat he could find.
What are you doing then? You have a guest in your home. Put the damn kettle on.
What the hell? What?
Dandelion tea if you have it. But I suppose all you have are those shitty tea bags from the store.
What is this? Get out! If it isn't for the absurdity of this turn of events, I would have flipped him off for thinking I have no taste. But in the end, I just laughed. All I got are cans of Korean ginseng and lemon balm, though. No dandelion. Without second thought, I do wet the tea. That's 3 minutes to get the kettle to a boil. 3 minutes where we say nothing to each other. Somehow this feels worse than if we just did it. I don't know. I mean, what do you even say to the guy I was going to sleep with until I changed my mind? I doubt he's in the mood to talk about the influence of Troyes or Mallory. Troyes on Mallory. Hello. It's still unusual by the time we're both seated on my bed with mugs of tea in
Just so
hand.
you know, whatever is going on right now is a lot stranger and fucked up than the one night stand.
I mean, I do agree, Luke.
We are two messed up individuals by your logic.
Everything is messed up, if you ask me. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and loved lost.
I mean, have you heard of the war in Afghanistan and how long it's been going? That's fucked up.
This whole world is a cesspool.
We're all sinners. The dead air is telling when it fills the room once more. One would think this is the perfect time to burst, to spill about whatever issues that made us the fucked up person that we are today. And it is. But I guess some part of me would rather not put the weight of my problems on someone else's shoulder. Wouldn't be fair to leave that to a person when I don't even know if we'll ever see each other again. Sooner rather than later, we both pass out of my bed, mugs left forgotten on the floor. Well, God, that was terrible. When I wake, whiskey is already gone, thank God. A bottle of painkillers and a note on the table are the only evidence that I wasn't alone last night. Don't even question where these are from, or just how he knew my real name. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even notice that for a second. That's... I mean, maybe he saw something in the room, but that... I don't like that. I'm just grateful for something to help with the hangover. Might as well. I have a job to do. I would not just take a pill that a stranger left with me. You know, that I don't think I'd do that. What we got now? Okay, alright. Some nice tea. I wonder what it would have, the picture would have been had we chosen the other one. I have a job to do. And that brings us to Saturday, the 22nd. It's just the next day? Nope, it's 2 days later. Okay. So this is the day after the initial tour. Interesting. Okay. The day that they come to buy things. Right. Okay. Cool. Alright, well, that is going to do it for this episode, though. We are going to have to continue on with Marianne and her, her awkward new reality with Luke Wright and try to figure out what her deal is with Hannah perhaps next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I'll see you next time.